All right, everyone. This is your boy Fernando here doing another interview for my Ghost and Spirits channel. This time from the actual courtyard, the area inside the Presidio La Bahia. It is currently almost 10 o'clock p.m. We are standing right next to the church, which also has its own very haunted set of experiences or encounters there. But in this case, I have Jerry Ray with us for this interview. He is the founder and he is still a current member of Spectre. You've seen that group that I've done certain videos and live streams and then also shorts with, and in some of the interviews too. So I thought while we were taking a little break, we could do another interview with Jerry Ray, and he'll be able to tell us some of his most memorable experiences. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce everyone to Jerry Ray. Jerry, how are we doing today, sir?
Hey, Fernando, how's it going, man? Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. I was just asking him if he could recite for us what would be the most memorable paranormal experience that he has had. And Jerry, please, yeah, if you could tell my audience what that would be, give us the context and so on. I'm sure they love to hear it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it actually happened back in the 1990s, early 1990s, actually. There had been a story that had come out at the local newspaper about this place, La Bahia, here in Goliad, actually. And what you're hearing, that's just our other members coming back in. That's not no ghost sounds or nothing like that. They're our other investigators. But one of the most memorable things that occurred to me happened here, right at this place, at this church, actually, inside the church. I came in, it was a Sunday afternoon, it was about closing time, and I walked inside there, and at the time it was me and my wife, and we walked in there, and we walked inside the church, down the aisle, and there's a section that you turn to the right, it's called the flag room. It's a bunch of flags that are sitting in there, and if you go in there, there's also a couple of artifacts that you see from the history of what this place, some of the things that are still there from the time of Texas independence, the time of the war that was going on at the time for Texas to gain its independence. Anyways, as we were walking in there, we were whispering. I said, I wonder if we're going to see anything, because I had read in the story about there was a monk that walked the monk that walked the grounds here, the courtyard, and inside the church. Also had heard of a lady in black that would be praying at this church, and no sooner that I said that, my wife is standing inside the church, looking towards the altar, and she has this look of like this, like she's seeing something that's really, really frightening her.
Oh.
And as I look at her, it's like, what are you looking at? What's going on? Then all of a sudden, you hear a door slam real loud. After the door slam, immediately you heard, ah. And after that happened, she ran out. I stayed in there. I sat down in right there in one of the pews. And as I sat there, I had this feeling like all these eyes were watching me. And I felt, my whole body felt hot. I felt strange, and I felt I needed to get out of there. I felt I wasn't welcome, not even in the church at that moment. So I said, okay, got up and walked out. And my wife was freaking out. She's like, I'm not going back in there. And so I went up here to the front, and I told the guy what had happened, as I thought someone was playing a trick on me. And I told him what happened, and he said, look, he says, I'll come over there and show, because there were still some customers in there. There was still people walking around the courtyard, and it was, at the time when that was going on. So anyways, he took me in there. He opened the door, where I heard the door slammed because there's a door right there where the priest comes out, and walked up the stairs. There ain't nothing there, nothing.
Nobody was there.
No one was there. There's no way in, no way out. It's just where the priest comes down, gets dressed, and comes down and does the sermon. I saw speakers. Up there, and I told him, I said, he says, no, look, it's disconnected. So,
Wow.
And after that, I really, really got into this, investigating a lot more, and that's why I'm here. I'm trying to figure out what that was.
So this happened at the very church that we're standing next to. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
What did she say? What she saw? Something that was.
She never told me.
But you were in the same.
She never wanted to talk about it. She never wanted to bring it up. That was my ex-wife. She never wanted to share with me. She said, no, I'm not gonna say what I saw.
Did she see whatever it was, like in an area different from your area inside the church, or were y'all looking at the same place?
She was looking directly at the altar, and I was still right here in the flag room. When I turned to see her, she had that look on her face like she was seeing something. She's like, oh my God, it's like, I'm like, what are you looking at? So when I walked out and looked at the altar,
yeah,
that's when the door slammed and we heard the singing.
So you were seeing her from her side,
Correct.
and she was seeing something from an angle you couldn't see.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. That is correct. And she is a non-believer. Was a non-believer.
Yeah.
So.
And then, real quickly, since we're still on the same grounds, could you tell us the story of those big knocks, whatever happened before, to some of the previous members that we had to?
I was here with my wife that I'm with now. We were inside the officers' quarters, inside there, where we were sitting down, and I said, at that time in my life I was smoking. And there was an investigator of mine, his name was Wade. It was him, and it was my wife, and there was just three of us out here. She was sitting inside the room. There's a door in the room she was sitting. When you walk into the quarters, to the officer's quarters, you walk in there, and you walk in, and it's the first room where there's two beds in that room along with the door.
Yeah.
Then you walk and you go up to your right, and that's the kitchen. I mean, that's the living room area, and then you walk further in, and you're going to come to the door, which brings you out into the main courtyard. And so, anyways, I told him, I said, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. And it was about, I'd say about 10:30. And I was out smoking a cigarette. Next thing you know, both of them come out, and they both look like they've seen a ghost to me, And the Wade is yelling at me, "What did you do? What did you do?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what did I do?" I said, I'm sitting out here smoking a cigarette. No, man, what did you do? What did you do? I said, dude, calm down. I said, you're babbling. What's the matter? What's wrong? And I said, Dorothy, what's going on? What's the matter? And she's like, are you sure you? I said, what did I do that apparently you guys think that I did? And they said they were sitting there. Wade was in the kitchen, and Dorothy was in that room with that door. Mm-hmm. So they could both see each other. They were actually having a conversation when this occurred. I'm standing outside of that back door, which is not, it's about 10 to 15 to 20 steps to that other door that she said and he said that sounded like somebody, they knocked on that door so loud that it sounded like somebody was knocking down the door.
Wow.
Now, I was outside here, I didn't hear nothing. So, two people scared to death. Wade actually said, I'm leaving. I was like, Wade, where are you going? I was like, you're an investigator. This is what we do. We're trying to figure out what happened here. He's like, nope. He's like, I'm done here. And he left. He went home. That night, me and Dorothy had a lot of activity occur, happen. And at the time, I was still an amateur investigator. I didn't have a whole lot of equipment like we do now. Just a voice recorder, camera, and I think a K2 meter is all we had at the time, that I had. And so Dorothy actually got some voices right there where we're sitting at.
Over by the courtyard.
Funny you should mention, but I mean, I actually have it recorded. I'm going to see if I can send it to you. It says, "Get out." And they whisper like that. So when you said,
Leave,
please leave,
yeah.
That kind of, it took me back to that day. So, but I mean, that's what happened that night. And my wife doesn't investigate no more because of what happened. Also.
Wow.
She doesn't do it anymore. So,
all right.
to me, it fascinates me. But some people, it's just I ain't doing that no more. When you actually have something physical like that occur, I don't know, I guess I have to be in that position. To me, it was hearing the monk sing and sitting in there, and that was an incredible feeling and a sensation that I cannot describe. And I want to feel that again.
Yeah. So both instances happening here at the Presidio La Bahia, and both instances, one occurred to your wife, and the other occurred to the other investigators. And this is definitely a great hotspot for that stuff, everyone. So if you ever want good hauntings, good experiences, this is the place to go. You can stay overnight here too if you like, or come here during the day. You may have still experiences. But all right, everyone. Well, thank you so much, Jerry Ray. Much appreciated, man.
You're very welcome. Thanks, man. Anytime.
Oh, and check out the channel, everyone, Spectre 2 on Facebook. I'll include the link below. That way you'll see all of our continued evidence there. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Something